Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the hidden messages in corporate filings. And let me tell you, Silvaco's latest report is like a thriller novel full of unexpected twists and turns, especially when it comes to acquisitions. So what's the big news? Well, Silvaco Group Inc. just dropped a report that basically tells us they bought another company. It sounds simple, right? But acquisitions are like high-stakes poker games in the corporate world. They can either catapult a company to new heights or leave it with a serious case of buyer's remorse. Today, we're going to dig into what this acquisition means for Silvaco, if it's a smart move, and what we should be watching for. This report is filed under a specific section of the law that deals with current events, things happening right now that investors need to know about. Think of it as the corporate world's breaking news alert, and in this case, the big story is a friendly takeover. The report tells us that on August 1st, 2025, something significant happened. This is the date the actual deal went down, the moment Silvaco officially welcomed a new member into its family. So Silvaco, which is based in Delaware, has acquired all the shares of a company called Mixel Group Inc., a California company. Now, it's not just one seller here, it's actually a couple of trusts, the Ashraf K. Takla Living Trust and the Nadia T. Takla Irrevocable Gift Trust. They've sold all their Mixel stock to Silvaco. This is what we call a stock purchase agreement. It's the official document that lays out all the terms and conditions of this big buy. This is where it gets really interesting. How did Silvaco pay for Mixel? Well, it wasn't just a simple cash deal. They used a mix of cold hard cash and their own company stock. This is a common strategy. Giving stock means the sellers also have a stake in the future success of the combined company. And to top it off, Silvaco also took on some of Mixel's existing debts or responsibilities, which we call liabilities. Investors always want to know how much debt a company is taking on. Now, the lawyers love this part. The agreement is filled with what they call customary representations and warranties. Think of these as promises the buyer and seller make about the business. They're essentially saying, it's not a mess, we're telling you everything we know. And if those promises turn out to be false, there's something called indemnification, which means one party agrees to cover the losses of the other. It's like an insurance policy within the deal. But of course, these promises have their limits. The details of all these promises and their exceptions are spelled out in the big agreement itself. This means the actual contract, the nitty-gritty legal document that makes this acquisition happen, is included with this report. Think of it as the appendix to the main story. It's where all the fine print lives. So a few days after the deal officially closed, the company put out a press release to tell everyone the good news. This is pretty standard practice. They want to make sure the market knows what's going on. This press release is also attached to the filing for everyone to see how they're spinning the announcement. Here we see the details of that stock purchase agreement again. It was actually signed a few days before the deal closed on July 29th, 2025. What's interesting is that it's being incorporated by reference from a previous report filed on July 29th. This means the terms were likely finalized and announced earlier, and this current report confirms the deal has actually happened. And here's the press release, the official announcement confirming the acquisition is a done deal. Filed on August 4th, 2025. And finally, who signs off on this important document? Well, it's the CEO, Dr. Babak Taheri. This shows the executive leadership is fully behind this acquisition. So what's the big picture here? Silvaco has bought Mixel. Why would they do this? We didn't get any financial tables in this particular filing, which is unusual for a deal of this size, but we can infer a few things. Typically, companies acquire others to expand their market reach, gain new technology, or eliminate a competitor. Since Mixel isn't a household name like Apple or Google, it's likely Silvaco is targeting Mixel for its specific technology or customer base. We need to look at Silvaco is targeting Mixel for its specific technology or customer base. We need to look at Silvaco is targeting Mixel for its specific technology or customer base. We need to look at Silvaco's overall strategy. Are they trying to become a one-stop shop for their industry? If so, this acquisition makes sense. Now, my take on this, Silvaco is making a bold move. Acquiring another company is always a gamble. They've paid with cash and stock and taken on liabilities. This means they are betting on Mixel's future performance to justify the price and the added debt. The lack of detailed financial tables in this specific 8K filing regarding the acquisition itself is a bit of a head-scratcher. Usually when a material acquisition happens, there are pro forma financial statements showing what the combined company might look like. This suggests that the immediate financial impact, at least as reported in this specific 8K filing, regarding the acquisition itself is a bit of a head-scratcher. Usually when a material acquisition happens, there are pro forma financial statements showing what the combined company might look like. This suggests that the immediate financial impact, at least as reported in this specific filing, might be less significant, or perhaps the details are being saved for a more comprehensive financial report like a 10Q or 10K. The main risk here is integration. Can Silvaco effectively merge Mixel's operations, technology, and culture into its own? If not, the value they hope to gain from this acquisition could evaporate. Another risk is the price they paid. We don't know the financials of Mixel directly from this report, but if Silvaco overpaid, that's a long-term drag on their profitability. On the flip side, the opportunity is clear. If Mixel has a groundbreaking technology or a strong position in a niche market, this could give Silvaco a significant competitive advantage. It all depends on the strategic fit and the execution of the integration plan. So what's the verdict? Silvaco is growing through acquisition. This is a sign of ambition, but also carries significant risk. We need to keep a close eye on their future financial reports to see if this acquisition pays off. Has it boosted revenue, streamlined operations, or opened up new markets? Will the cost of integration and any assumed debt be manageable, or will they become a burden? We'll be watching closely. Alright, that's our breakdown of Silvaco's latest filing. What's your take on this acquisition and what it signals for Silvaco's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives into the corporate world. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.